Hello and welcome to a new video on my channel. Today I'm excited to present part 21 of the story, Pandora under Evie Krieg. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share it with others. Now, let's dive straight into the story. What are we supposed to do? It's not like we can get anywhere near it. Anything that comes close to the center of this vortex simply vanishes or gets destroyed. We saw it happen with the drones, said Council Member Number 5, a man with sharp facial features and piercing eyes. Otherwise, Adam Lightville appeared quite unremarkable. His black hair was tousled slightly by the artificial breeze of a nearby fan. His ice blue eyes held an unsettling coldness, an almost clinical detachment. I suggest we keep observing it, and if necessary, send someone to stop, whatever this is. My family could provide a few heroes for the task, offered Taylor Hustle, the second council member. We can't send heroes in blindly, objected a young girl with blonde hair and deep blue eyes. She was one of the youngest S-rank heroes in the world, bearing the title The Conductor. Her advice was valued by the most powerful figures, and her influence commanded respect. Her supernatural ability was one that most feared, for good reason. No one ever truly knew where she was or how many puppets she controlled at any given time. Her golden threads guided them, and that was the only telltale sign that someone was under her command. So far, she had only used criminals to create her puppets, but the potential for chaos lingered beneath the surface. On top of that, the conductor could craft puppets of heroes beyond her direct control. These copies followed her orders, though they were mere shadows of the originals. Only about 25% as strong. Furthermore, her creations could never exceed A rank in power. But I could send a few puppets if this situation continues. Once this chaotic storm subsides, I will know exactly who is responsible, she declared with unwavering confidence. Dr. Walter, council member number 6, was of the opinion that action needed to be taken sooner rather than later. The Chaos Zone has lost 50% of its brightness. At this rate, the remaining energy will be fully absorbed in approximately 98 minutes, announced the synthetic voice of an AI. Tension in the Hero Association's Central Command grew sharper, the debate intensifying, until a small voice cut through the noise like a blade. "Look, it's already too late," said the conductor, pointing at the screen. All eyes turned toward the display. To their shock, the swirling darkness and violet light were fading. The ruins of chaos, once stark against the gray background, were barely distinguishable now. Before their very eyes, flowers began to sprout. Green meadows spread across the ashen landscape, glowing emerald specks rising like fireflies from the grass. The camera shifted, focusing on a single figure standing where there had once been a beach, now a deep, gaping crater. "What is that?" Dr. Walter muttered, his eyes narrowing as he noticed something unnatural. The ocean should have flooded the crater by now, but it didn't. The sea appeared held back as if some invisible force was restraining it. The council members of the Hero Association's inner circle exchanged uneasy glances, confusion, fear. Something was terribly wrong. The figure at the crater's center crouched, and then, in a blur, leapt into the air. The movement was so fast it was hard to follow, even from a distance. When the camera managed to refocus, the figure became clear. She wore a black, sleeveless leather jacket, exposing her toned, muscular stomach. Beneath it, she had nothing but an extremely short pair of black leather shorts. Her abs were defined, her bare chest exposed without shame. As she began to descend from her jump, a platform materialized beneath her feet, a shimmering hexagonal surface glistening like a soap bubble. She radiated power and unwavering confidence. Her gaze swept across the horizon, taking in the transformed battlefield. The roar of rushing water filled the air as the ocean finally surged forward, pouring into the crater. Even though Pandora didn't know where she was being watched from, she felt it. A silent, inaudible ultrasonic pulse rippled outward from her, bouncing off unseen surfaces. Something nearby was wrong. Reaching into the air, Pandora manipulated the moisture around her, forming a spear from water. It felt exquisite in her grasp, the liquid smooth and cool against her fingers. But the structure was unstable. There you are. Little birds, too curious for your own good, she murmured, her echolocation revealing the presence of several hidden drones in the distance. Her infrared vision pinpointed their propulsion systems, the only visible sign of their otherwise invisible forms. Pandora crouched, feeling her muscles coil like springs. Then she launched herself forward. The wind howled around her as she shot through the darkness. From the swirling shadows at her back, black skeletal wings unfurled, spreading like jagged, unnatural constructs. She closed the distance in an instant. Her fist struck the first drone with devastating force, shattering it into scrap. The second drone met a different fate, impaled by a spear of water, erupting from a pitch-black portal. This should make it clear how I feel about being watched. And staying hidden forever was never part of my plans anyway, Pandora thought as she pulled the water back toward herself. Humans, you really are insufferable, selfish bastards, she muttered, locking her gaze onto the nearest drone. It didn't take long for the humans to realize that their drone's invisibility was useless. With a flicker, the camouflage systems shut down, revealing the hovering machines in plain sight. They had decided to conserve power, abandoning stealth in favor of direct confrontation. Pandora opened a portal beneath the closest drone and thrust her spear upward. She had aimed to pierce it clean through, but instead, the drone merely jerked off balance, emitting a mechanical whir as it adjusted. Unlike the first drone, which had clearly been a reconnaissance unit, this one was military grade. The sharp hum of energy weapons charging filled the air. A dark cloud appeared on the distant horizon, moving rapidly toward her position. Why are you here, and what was your objective, vampire? A voice spoke, childlike, yet firm, resonating from the nearest drone. The conductor felt her pulse quicken. She had never spoken to a vampire before. The sheer strangeness of it sent a thrill through her veins. And yet, something about this one felt wrong, off. She couldn't put her finger on it, but the unease gnawed at her. I don't talk to hero scum, Pandora spat, her voice dripping with contempt. Why not? The voice inquired. Why do you think? You took everything from me, and now you send an army to face me. That doesn't exactly give the impression that you want a conversation. Pandora knew her water manipulation wouldn't be particularly effective against metal, not in the way she needed it to be. So instead, she infused her spear with electricity. The moment the charged weapon made contact, the water surrounding it amplified the current, frying the delicate inner workings of the drones. Cease fire. Deactivate the weapons. I want to talk to her. The conductor's voice rang through the command center. One of the officers hesitated. I'm not sure that's a good idea. We should neutralize the vampire before she becomes a serious threat. The conductor ignored him, convinced the situation warranted a different approach. The attack halted, but not before Pandora destroyed another 5 drones in rapid succession before lowering her spear. Who are you? Pandora demanded into the emptiness. They call me the conductor. And who are you? Pandora hesitated. Shit! What am I even supposed to say? I'm very interested in how you use chaos energy. Or rather, how you absorb it. Do you have any connection to Astralis? The conductor asked. And what if I were Astralis? Pandora countered, her voice laced with venom. Would you see me as a threat and try to kill me, just like all the others? Her fangs lengthened, her body shifting, growing slightly larger. I don't know what we did to make you so angry, but I'd like to resolve this with words, the conductor said, her voice measured. I never did anything to you, and yet you took everything from me. If you hadn't, no, forget it. I won't say more. Are you implying we killed your parents, Astralis? Is that why you're so full of rage? The conductor pressed. Pandora's breath hitched. Her blood boiled, her veins pulsing with fury. The resentment she harbored toward society, toward the so-called heroes who had stolen her past, ignited like wildfire. She fought to keep her emotions in check, but her aura betrayed her. It lashed out, a raging tempest of violet-black energy swirling around her like a living storm. Even through the screens, the force of it could be felt. For a fleeting moment, Council Member Number 2 swore he saw a face within the flames, a face that sent an ice-cold shiver down his spine. The vampire's gaze no longer merely burned with anger. No, there was something else. Something terrifying. The temperature in the command center plummeted. What do you mean by that? Astralus's voice was eerily calm, yet it carried the weight of a storm ready to break. Were you related to them? If so, I am sorry. But they were a danger to public safety, the conductor responded. A spark ignited in Pandora's eyes. No, not a spark. A fire. A deep, violet inferno raged within them, so intense it was like staring into the abyss itself. The energy around her flared like gasoline meeting an open flame. The air around her shimmered, distorting unnaturally. What do you even know? She growled, raising her hand. A crackling spear of pure white energy formed in her grip, the static in the air thick enough to taste. Dr. Walter felt a sickness settle deep in his gut. He had never seen a vampire speak the human tongue so fluently. In fact, if he wasn't mistaken, there had never been one like her before. I don't know much, only that they were hiding in a valley. But the traitor Elias collaborated with the enemy. And that... Shut the hell up, you piece of shit. Astralis cut him off, her voice shaking with barely restrained rage. What do you humans even know? Why do you always think everything revolves around you? Why do you see someone hiding in a chaos zone and assume they're a threat? Why do you kill those who only wanted to be left alone? They were a danger. Elias killed 145 people when he fought against the heroes who attempted to capture him, the conductor stated. What a load of bullshit. Her voice cracked. Did it ever cross your mind that the fight wouldn't have even happened if you had just left them alone? What is so wrong about protecting your family? What kind of species wouldn't? What is so wrong about love? She bit her tongue as if forcing herself to stop speaking. And then, the sky trembled. The very air around them began to ripple. The great yellow sun overhead darkened, shifting, turning blood red. Pandora dares not look around. Any stray glance could prove disastrous. The drones, too, avoid turning toward the crimson sun overhead. In the distance, she watches them slowly return, their resolve clearly waning. After all, there's no point in fighting a battle they're doomed to repeat without any real challenge. Then, reality itself begins to fracture. The sound of shattering glass, eerily melodic, echoes as fragments of existence crumble away. With a final cruel smile, Pandora vanishes into the void. She knows that even the smallest piece of information falling into her enemy's hands could spell trouble. Her blood boils at the sight of the self-satisfied grins plastered across the faces of the Hero Association's members, a smile she vows to erase from their memories. Back at the Hero Association's command center, a heated debate ensues. Teleportation is already a formidable power on its own, yet now a bizarre red light stains the sky, prompting more questions than answers. No one can explain why the sun has turned red, and while the present yields no clues, one scientist dares to suggest peering into the past. Meanwhile, within Pandora's pocket dimension, dramatic changes are unfolding. What was once a confined space has expanded into a nearly spherical realm, its radius now exceeding 150 meters. The dimension has taken on an almost organic roundness. After Pandora explains the unfolding events, Camila appears visibly moved, but the weightlessness makes it hard for her to concentrate. As she struggles to articulate her thoughts, she admits that perhaps she shouldn't have revealed everything. In battle, remnants of the outside world have little significance. I'm still worried they'll link my childhood memories with today's events, and with what happened in the woods, Pandora confesses, her tone laced with concern. Honestly, I doubt you need to worry, Camila replies in a measured tone, even as a stray piece of clothing drifts by, adding to the surreal atmosphere. I haven't looked into it yet, but if what you say is true, it's unlikely that much of your old life remains. Must you always be such a distraction? Can't you do something about it? Camila teases. Pandora closes her eyes for just a moment. Suddenly, the entire environment shifts. Gravity reasserts itself. For a brief, weightless moment, Pandora and Camila are suspended in midair before landing safely on a stone floor within an opulent palace. What the hell did you do? Camila demands, wide-eyed with astonishment. I simply cast an illusion around us, Pandora explains, surprised by the unexpected effect. I didn't foresee it having such a tangible impact. Is that what you call an illusion? Camila asks, scanning her surroundings in disbelief. Stepping forward to touch the ground, Camila's violet eyes widen in wonder. The floor feels exactly as it should, rugged and real. Intrigued, Pandora surveys the scene. With a single thought, everything around them darkens, and sconces appear along the walls, their torches igniting in violet flames. Wow, what's the limit of your power? Camila asks, her voice filled with both excitement and curiosity, as a subtle, almost intoxicating scent of arousal drifts toward Pandora. Why does that even turn you on? Pandora teases, a wry smile playing on her lips. It's odd, but not exactly repulsive. Instantly, Camila flushes a deep red. As for the limits of my pocket dimension, Pandora continues, her tone growing serious as she gestures toward Camila, there are two immutable laws I cannot break. Before Camila can react, a spear materializes from the very floor and thrusts into her shoulder. Yet, before the pain even registers, the injury vanishes without a trace, an impermanent wound in a realm where damage heals as swiftly as it appears. Pandora's smile turns cold as she explains, I can kill or wound someone here, but healing occurs almost instantly. Injuries inflicted from the outside, however, remain permanent. Nothing from beyond can breach this sanctuary and kill me or my allies. In this space, I am almost a deity. Every force, no matter how mighty, must bow to my rules. Can this place ever be destroyed? Camila inquires, her voice a mix of awe and trepidation. Honestly, I believe it's nearly impossible, Pandora replies thoughtfully. Outside this universe, there is nothing. If there's nothing, nothing can survive there. Almost as soon as she speaks, a sharp headache seizes Pandora. Her eyes flare with an intense glow, and she staggers backward as a deep, primal fear grips her, an instinctive dread of what lies beyond her domain. It isn't merely an empty void. It's something akin to raw chaos, a glimpse of infinity that defies all understanding. The space beyond her pocket dimension feels so fundamentally warped and alien that even she cannot fathom it. An existential terror claws at her very bones, warning her against attempting to open a portal to that unfathomable abyss. It feels like a blasphemous act, peering into an infinite realm with finite eyes. What's wrong? Camila asks softly. Nothing, but if anyone tries to leave this world without returning to our universe, something terrible will happen, Pandora warns, her voice trembling. I will never extend my consciousness beyond these boundaries again, she vows. Yet that is not all. The red hue of the enormous sun has altered something fundamental. As Pandora attempts to open a rift in reality, her pocket dimension shudders like a fragile soap bubble on the edge of the cosmos, explaining why her realm can act as a portal at any point in reality. As the rift widens, a surge of paranormal energy washes over the space, a wave that is entirely different from any force she has known before. It isn't the typical kind of otherworldly power. It carries an eerie, unsettling quality. Okay, Pandora murmurs, her voice barely audible over the hum of the strange energy. This is really truly strange. What have you done now? Why is that energy infused in the light? Camila asks, her confusion deepening with every word. Pandora shrugs nonchalantly. How should I know? I only possess limited cosmic knowledge about this place. It isn't all mine. And besides, my Chaos Arcanis, Asmosia, can, for some inexplicable reason, devour aspects of superpowers and make them a part of itself. Essentially, that means I currently control this realm with my Chaos power. Not with my portal ability, which I still don't fully understand. To Pandora, this information is less significant than other matters. Even if someone were to discover that this dimension runs on chaotic energy, there's no practical way to alter it. She's absolutely certain of that. The chaotic energy here, along with her ability, seems immutable, as integral to the structure of her pocket dimension as the cosmic laws that govern the universe. The idea that anything could be powerful enough to override these laws and truly manipulate chaos seems utterly impossible. There exist only a handful of rules so absolute that even gods could not change them. And yet, one must wonder who or what established these rules in the first place. For instance, one such rule forbids the resurrection of the dead, the creation of life, or the manipulation of time in any manner other than gazing forward into the future and catching fleeting glimpses of possibility or reflecting on the past. Not even Asmosia can be influenced in that regard. Ouch! That burns, Pandora exclaims as she dips her hand into the light. What do you mean? I can't feel anything, Camila replies, slowly moving her hand through the radiant beam. A pained cry interrupts them. Ah, help! It burns! Should we help this person? Camila asks, her tone eerily detached. Why should we? It doesn't concern us, Pandora retorts coolly. A female voice laced with agony calls out, "Hello? Is anyone there? Can anyone hear me?" Intrigued, Pandora leans her head toward the rift. As she does, she conjures a delicate illusion around her head. But once again, the surrounding energy flickers erratically, and the illusion vanishes. What she sees beyond is worth every moment of pain. A vast, searing heat under a red sun, with the ground rippling in the oppressive glow. Yet it isn't just heat. The very air seems to vibrate with an alien force, heavy and mysterious. Without hesitation, Pandora steps fully through the rift and pulls her leather jacket tight around her. In the sprawling metropolis of Alpha, she can ill afford for anyone to learn her true identity. Now she must rely solely on her regenerative abilities and her vampiric nature. In the shadow of a large building, a lone woman stands, seemingly the only soul on the street. Her skin is marked by visible burns, and her hair glows a vivid shade of purple. Pandora's eyes narrow as recognition dawns. She knows this woman from somewhere. It's a news anchor, the one renowned for wielding an F-rank arcanus. Quickly, Pandora melts back into the shadows to avoid the searing heat, but her actions are far from over. "I'm about to rotate the rift," she announces in a low, cautionary tone. "Watch out. Don't mention names. They can hear us through the rift." "Understood," Camilla replies. A desperate shout pierces the air from the woman in the shadows. "Hey, you there, can you help me?" Pandora watches as the woman's shadow shrinks while the sun climbs higher, its rays intensifying. "I could help, but why should I care about how she fares?" Pandora muses, her voice dripping with indifference. "Please, I can offer you everything." The woman pleads as the brilliant sunlight draws closer. "Nice offer, but I'm not interested in money or your body. I have other priorities," Pandora replies, her figure cloaked in darkness. The sound of shattering glass fills the air, accompanied by a long, slithering noise that echoes over the ground. Strange, otherworldly sounds mingle with the hum of energy fields, punctuated by dull, resonant thuds. "Whatever you want. Help me. I don't want to die," the woman cries, gazing fearfully at the sky. "All right," Pandora says, her tone final. "The price is your arcanus. If you want our help, you'll work for us from now on. There are several ways you could serve us, whether by defeating monsters or gathering crucial intelligence." Okay, sure," replies the woman, known as Aja Schneider, unaware of the true nature of the deal she's just struck. As Aja's gaze drifts from the menacing red sun to the figure emerging from the shadows, a chill runs down her spine. The newcomer wears a black leather jacket, unbuttoned at the front, revealing a stark white, form-fitting t-shirt adorned with swirling, purple liquid patterns. Her violet eyes gleam with a piercing intensity beneath a layer of black makeup that shrouds her face. But it isn't just her appearance that unnerves Aja. It's also the gash in reality itself overhead. The rift seems grotesquely out of place, undulating in sync with every cautious step Aja takes, as though it were alive. Something tells her this should not be possible. It just feels fundamentally wrong. As the mysterious figure draws closer, Aja becomes aware of an aura emanating from her, a presence that is less about overwhelming power and more about an unsettling distortion, an inexplicable wrongness that seems to warp reality around it. With every measured step, an icy shudder crawls down Aja's back, and every fiber of her being urges her to flee, if only she knew where to run. Then, in a voice as dark and resonant as a funeral dirge, the figure declares, "I'm going to steal your power now. In return, I'll save you and send you to a place where you'll be safe. I needn't hide that I relish my ability to commandeer powers." Camilla, who has been silently witnessing everything, hopes fervently, "I just hope this doesn't go awry." What do you mean?" Aja stammers, bewildered. Before she can utter another word, Pandora places her hand over Aja's. As she channels osmosia, peculiar tentacles of purple flame emerge from her hand and intertwine with Aja. This force, the power to project one's will onto any surface, transcends explanation. Pandora smiles thinly as she shoves the rift beneath the woman with nothing more than a thought. She can feel Aja tumbling into the rift, while Camilla moves swiftly toward her. In a moment of surprising clarity, Pandora realizes that Camilla has masked her true appearance using her illusionary power, a revelation that, though unexpected, proves ultimately inconsequential, as illusions serve little purpose under such dire circumstances. Nonetheless, Pandora grants Camilla the power to craft illusions at will. "It's fascinating," Pandora muses internally. "My power, osmosia, seems to have the side effect that within my pocket dimension, there is virtually no limit to the abilities I can bestow on someone. And it appears there's no burden on Camila either. Looking upward, Pandora feels the oppressive pull of the red sun. Its light makes breathing laborious and drains the potency of superpowers, explaining why the constructs of light that once sustained her illusions now simply fade under its glare. Well then, she thinks with grim determination, it's time to recruit. This chaos is perfect for me. I can steal powers, and the government is already overwhelmed. With that, Pandora unfurls her wings. Black skeletal wings, forged from the very shadows around her, begin to take shape. Although she senses that these wings need not rely on ambient darkness to form, the ephemeral beauty of shadows coalescing into mist-like bands that solidify into bone is breathtaking. The wings burst forth from her shoulder blades, effortlessly tearing through fabric and skin alike. It is chaos made manifest, rendering the impossible possible. Yet under the relentless red light, something changes. The wings seem to absorb the solar energy, the once yellow sun now bleeding red as if sated by its power. With a sudden hiss and a furious roar, black and purple flames ignite between the wing bones. The conflagration blurs the boundary between bone and fire. The bones are darker than pitch, as if they had been cut directly from the void itself. With a powerful flap of her wings, Pandora propels herself high into the air. As she soars above the chaos below, she opens a rift and informs Camila that she's already loaded the plans onto her armband. I've already looked them over. For your purposes, nothing is too much trouble, Camila replies coolly. Though Pandora finds this a bit odd, she can't complain. Camila is a remarkably effective Yenere who executes her plans flawlessly. Still, Pandora wonders aloud if Camila has any idea what's happening in the world, especially now that the sun has taken on a strange, unnatural hue. Not entirely. The internet is in complete disarray, and it seems there's an effect from the sunlight that reduces every superpower by 1 rank, a weakness that only manifests when you're hit by it. Oh, and in direct sunlight, temperatures soar between 90 and 150 degrees Celsius, while in the shadows, everything remains strangely normal, Camila explains in a serious tone, her voice carrying a peculiar, almost damp timbre. Shifting her focus, Pandora fixes her gaze on a tiny, flickering light far in the distance. Malin, sparkling like a small white star. Though she cannot fully explain how, the light reveals that something is terribly wrong with Malin. The young woman is marred by burns and cuts, her nervous, stressed demeanor betraying her condition. Malin is too valuable to lose. I must hurry, Pandora thinks as she darts through the air. Below, Pandora observes that the defensive turrets on the city wall remain fixed, unresponsive. Their continuous firing at an unseen target hints at an ongoing assault. Though Pandora isn't eager to fly directly into the fray, the cacophony of battle, shrieking energy blasts, crackling lightning, and manipulated winds, signals that both humans and monsters are locked in combat. She even senses the departure of the 3 S-rank protectors of Metropolis Alpha as they move to confront a threat emerging from the distant mountains. A deep, guttural growl overtakes the clamor of battle, as if the very ground is trembling and the heavens are being torn asunder. Then, astonishingly, the clouds begin to split open. Shit, that's an elder dragon, Pandora murmurs to herself. Without delay, she veers off course toward her objective. If that dragon even dares move toward the city, Pandora sees no alternative but to retreat swiftly. She might consider facing a lesser dragon, or even fighting alongside S-rank heroes against a normal one, but an elder dragon is another matter entirely. Should the situation deteriorate further, the city could indeed be reduced to smoldering ash. Yet, the mystery remains. What is an elder dragon doing in this region? Upon reaching Malin, Pandora is met with a startling scene. Malin lies prone on the ground, clutching a red egg roughly the size of a melon. Nearby, a man in a sharp black suit appears visibly agitated, raising his pistol as he points it at Malin. What the hell is going on? Pandora demands as she draws near. Help me. This egg is the reason behind the attack, Malin pleads, her eyes straining to focus on the winged figure soaring in the sky above. The sight of the figure is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Its black skeletal wings blaze with deep black-purple flames, an inferno so fierce that even Malin and the sweeted man seem paralyzed by fear. They have never witnessed such a spectacle before. and the fact that the creature can fly despite its almost skeletal appearance only heightens the dread seeping into their bones. There is something unsettlingly familiar about the creature's aura. Soon, the man mentions the Asylum clan, a fact that leaves little to the imagination, as his tattoos and even his scent betray his affiliation with the group once encountered by Pandora in the museum. If you know what's best for you, you'd let this go, the man warns. In a flash, Pandora opens a portal beneath Malin, a swirling vortex resembling a black hole, and simultaneously forms its counterpart behind her. Before Malin can comprehend what is happening, she is pulled through the invisible rift and vanishes from sight. Hey, take care of her. And recruit her too, Pandora commands. Understood, boss, comes a voice in her ear, a communication channel maintained through the portal, confirming the order. Due to the intense solar radiation, the portals can only remain open for a brief 2.5 seconds, but that fleeting window is sufficient. Just like her wings, the rifts are immune to the blinding light, a quirk Pandora attributes to the nature of chaos. She senses the weakness effect of the sunlight. Its pressure on superpowers only takes hold when external energy collides with them, while her own physical strength remains undiminished. Her vampiric prowess, doubled by her natural resilience, continues to function as before. Normally, I'd consider you an enemy and end you right here, the man declares, holding the egg aloft. But I have my reasons for being in this city. Pandora blinks, puzzled by how he managed to obtain the egg without her noticing. Yet that detail is inconsequential. If anything, the elder dragon is likely pursuing that very egg. Do you know whose egg this is? She asks tensely. In her mind, Pandora deduces the only reason a hellish inferno hasn't swallowed our position is that the elder dragon's flames would obliterate the egg. As the oppressive sense of danger grows ever nearer, it becomes unmistakable. The dragon will soon appear to reclaim its egg. A low, menacing growl vibrates through the ground, and the protective shields of the city flare into life, an attempt to fend off an onslaught reminiscent of a wrathful mother's roar. For your child's sake, may we never meet again, the man shouts, attempting to flee. But Pandora is not about to let him escape. Drawing upon Lilith Hustle's specialized technique known as Wrathful Nova, though she utters the command only in her mind, she unleashes her power. Her damaged Arcanus, once capable of unleashing B-rank fire at 50% strength, is now reduced to merely 25% due to the weakened sunlight. Originally a level 2 B-rank power, it has further deteriorated, now manifesting as a level 10 C-rank ability that functions more like a level 5 C-rank force. The dark-skinned man, marked by golden tattoos, has managed to evade capture thanks to his supernatural speed. Pandora watches as he extends his hand downward. Spikes suddenly burst forth from his skin, launching toward her. Interesting. A mutant Arcanus capable of firing spikes, Pandora mutters to herself. The spikes hurtle in her direction. One narrowly misses, embedding itself in the wall behind her, while another grazes her shoulder. The pain is sharp but bearable. With a swift, practiced movement, Pandora dislodges the spike and tosses it aside. Now you're finished. My venom is so potent that even an A-rank hero would be rendered useless if struck by it, he boasts. Yet when he sees that she shows no signs of slowing or succumbing to the toxin, he is left wondering how that could be. Before he can fully process his thoughts, Pandora is upon him. She digs into the pocket where he conceals the dragon egg. Fascinating. I suppose that's why they gave you this job, she remarks, holding up a card emblazoned with an image of the egg. How did you figure that out? He stammers. I just did, Pandora replies tersely as she slips the card back into her pocket. In that moment, Pandora senses a disturbance rippling through her dimension. Malin has realized that the egg is a counterfeit. This revelation is tied to the man's secondary superpower, one that revolves around deception and the ability to manifest things in card form. Whatever the workings of that power, I'll have it soon enough, Pandora resolves as she gathers energy in her hand and hurls it toward the man. Flames burst forth, and the fireball transforms into a pale blue hue as she melds her Arcanus plasma with her control over electricity. A searing beam of energy erupts from her hand, surging forward with crackling intensity. The air fills with the scent of scorched flesh as Pandora seizes the man's head, now sprawled on the pavement, and begins channeling her power into him. Thin strands of violet-purple light weave under his skin, searching for their target. Once found, they coil tightly around it. Flickering like tiny, erratic flames, these beams intensify as Pandora absorbs his two Arcanist powers and funnels them directly into her pocket dimension, birthing two new stars within her realm. But as the stench of death grows and an almost palpable presence, a chaotic amalgam that seems to carry the essence of five different beings, fills the air, Pandora has no time to ponder. A scorching energy beam strikes her, burning with an intensity akin to grasping hot metal. What the? She gasps as she turns to face a new adversary. A figure clad in black knight armor. This creature is otherworldly. Its body exudes the combined scent of five different people, and the Arcani's energy within it seems tormented. Echoes of power writhing within its core strive to break free, yet an unknown force keeps them in check. This is an Arcanist unlike any bound by magic or chaos. Its energy surges in natural, almost primal waves. Arg, the armored figure bellows, launching a swift, crushing blow. The strike is ferocious and sudden, but Pandora narrowly evades it. The air whistles past her as his fist smashes into a wall behind her. Although she isn't the finest fighter, Pandora knows that against an A-rank hero augmented with body-enhancing Arcanis, especially one who fights with such unbridled chaos, she might still prevail. But then comes the sound of shattering glass, as the very air around her seems to crack. In the blink of an eye, a part of her abdomen is gone. The searing pain takes a moment longer to register in her mind. Damn it, this is a spatial Arcanis, Pandora thinks in mounting panic. This power bypasses my natural defenses. If it hits me a few more times, I'm finished. And I can't simply steal powers without direct contact. This creature may not be alive, but that doesn't help me. I can't extract its abilities from its body. I'm screwed. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you could share my content with others as well. This was part 21 of Pandora and the Eternal War. If you want to see more, you can click on the playlist link on the right. On the left side of the screen, you'll find the link to my latest uploaded video. And in the center at the top, you'll see a direct link to my YouTube channel. Feel free to check it out and listen to all my stories.